All right, we're live. What's up,
Awesome.
Sam?
Yes, well, hello and welcome everyone to Live on IFT. My name is Ben. I'll be your host. Joining me, my best friend, Trip, your other host. Trip, do you have any announcements for the folks back home?
Yeah. So again, I did want to reiterate that we've got a student discount. So if you are in university in the North America, Canada, or the UK, then you can get 90% off of IFT. So all you have to do is sign in with your .edu email address, and the coupon is added automatically. So if you know a student, you can automate a lot of your productivity, like taking notes, or I will say we have like blog writing content, so you can kind of like outline some essays that you need to write. But again, make sure you write all your essays for college. We don't want to just turn in AI written stuff. But go sign up if you're a student and tell any students you know that we have a 90% off discount. And the other thing is, if you're a GPT Plus user, we've got a really cool GPT on the GPT store. Just search for IFT, you'll find it. It's really awesome. It turns ChatGPT into your own personal assistant. So go check it out.
Awesome. Thank you, Trip. We have a special guest with us today. He is a YouTuber, he's a Twitch streamer, he's a podcaster, he's a blogger, he's a live streaming consultant. And on top of all of this, he still has time to run a volunteer kitten foster program. So join me, everyone, in welcoming our guest, Sam Proof.
Hey,
Sam,
everybody.
thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me and for using
Absolutely.
the good picture.
I know that's
yeah,
really cool.
no, this is an amazing mugshot right here. Or I guess, well, you're in LA, so this is like a what do they call them? Your headshot.
This was actually a corporate headshot from a startup that I worked at. They brought in a photographer to take pictures of everyone that worked there.
Oh, that's killer.
I have so many questions about this picture, but we're going to move on to some other questions.
No,
all right.
that's awesome.
So, here's a real quick agenda. As always, we're going to start off by talking about why we started this live stream and who it's designed for. We're going to spend some time getting to know Sam. We are going to pause throughout for questions from the audience. So get your questions in. Trip and I are happy to answer questions, but if you can, do try to direct your questions to Sam for this live stream. We're going to dive in. Sam's a big IFTer, so we're going to dive into some of the applets that Sam has set up on IFT. And as always, we're going to do some giveaways at the end. Or actually, I think we might just have one giveaway, singular. But nevertheless, stay till the end, get in some good questions, and we're going to give away 1 year of Pro Plus at the end. So real quickly, who is this for? So our fastest growing user segment right now at IFT is what some might refer to as a solopreneur or a small business owner. This could be a podcaster, YouTuber, Twitch streamer, someone who sells artisanal soap online, or a birthday clown with a WordPress blog. Just anyone that's trying to make money on the internet. And I think our big focus in 2024 is helping these individuals build communities. So, Sam, you've been building communities and putting video content on the internet since probably since I was still going to recess. Tell us a little bit. I don't want to age anybody, but tell us a little bit about your getting started with your video content and just how that passion grew for you.
Sure. I mean, I've always been like a creative, like storyteller, like a wannabe novelist kind of writer person. And I found the internet in the early 90s. And like I was hooked. I was like, this is my heroin. I'm in. I can't leave this thing. And back then nothing existed. There was no YouTube, there was no Google, there was just almost just a glorified chain of computers that were forums, right? But you could make your own websites. And so I immediately learned how to do that. I found this software called Macromedia. What was it called? Flash then? Or I think it may have actually been called something else. But it was like this animation software where you could do like relatively rudimentary things, But if you really tried hard enough, you could take video footage and essentially turn it into a flip book of animation. Like you're just converting it into stills and then turning that into an animation. And so I was making videos in like the 90s and putting them on the internet, and it must have taken forever for those things to download because they were like a whole megabyte.
That's huge. Wow.
And then, when like the internet really broke free of those sort of, restraints, and like you got all of the bandwidth, which at the time was still not a lot. Like we're still dealing with like 320 by 240 being like high quality at that point, like like smaller than how big you guys are showing up on screen. It's like what you could
thumbnails,
yeah,
right.
and like the way I actually got into live streaming itself was I had moved to Hollywood in efforts of becoming a writer, and I was like, well, I'm here, I'll try and be like an actor at the same time. Like I'll do some background work and whatever. And I saw this casting call in, I think it was Craigslist. It was something of that ilk. And I went to what was the back of one of these giant like production rental places where you get like your lights and your stands. So they have this back room. You go in through like the parking lot in like a loading door, and you walk in and it's just one room, and it's maybe the size of a typical garage. And straight down the center is like a 16-foot green screen dividing the room in half. And on either side were 6 different like computer consoles that were TriCasters, which at the time was like a pretty awesome streaming hardware, broadcast hardware.
Yeah.
And so they had all of these little booths, which if I had gone there knowing what I know now, I would have been like, oh, this is for porn, and I would have left, but it wasn't. And I stuck around, and it was the first, to my knowledge, the first browser-based live streaming platform. And this was 2005. It predates YouTube.
Oh, wow.
It was called Operator 11, and they paid us to go
what
live.
Were they live streaming?
We just made up our own content. So I was doing, at the time, I ran a website called Dash 30 Dash, which was like poetry and art and stuff like that. And so I was interviewing poets and artists and photographers and painters, because there was a whole bunch of them in Los Angeles.
Yeah, totally.
And then I would do comedy stuff and other stuff. And, it was this cool little tight-knit group. And some of them went on to actually become, YouTubers when YouTube came out. And some of them went on to become just regular adults. And like, that was their experience. They were like, I'm done with this chapter of my life. Now back to the real world. And I was like, no, this is it. Like, I'm sticking with this.
This is me.
That's cool. And like YouTube came out in like 2006, right? So like,
this like a year later,
random bunker in Hollywood with all these different cameras was live streaming to the internet. Yeah. Before all of that. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. And then when I found YouTube, I was like, it's on.
So let me ask. So I want to get right into the cats, right? So I have 2 cats myself, Jeffrey and George. They're long hair, orange tabbies. You have kind of an obsession for cats. I think you've got a just kitten around podcast. You have a 24-hour Twitch live stream for kittens that you foster.
Yeah. And
you also mentioned, I think, that you were getting ready to start some type of newsletter around cats. How many cats do you have right now, or how many cats are in your care right now, and how did we get here? Like, how did we get to this point?
Okay. All right. We'll answer the math questions because that's going to take me a minute. If you had asked me this literally a week ago, it would have been more. We have 4 house cats of our own. 3 were previous fosters of ours. On screen, that is 1 mom and 6 babies. So that's 13 total so far.
Week old, right?
And they're less than, they're just a week old now. And we brought them in. We saved them from a shelter. And then we also currently have 2 cats at the Cat Cafe Lounge in West LA. And we have 2 cats that a friend is fostering for us because they were at a PetSmart enclosure and then got ringworm. And we had already gotten this mom and babies, and we were like, we can't risk exposing her and the babies to ringworm.
Yeah.
So somebody else took those on. So that's what, 17 cats? Is that the math? I
Dang,
can't
that's
even do it.
wild.
Wow.
And just for context, everyone, this is Sam's Twitch live stream. It's going on right now. It's called Cute Avalanche.
Yeah.
It's a live stream where, you know, his followers can like interact with all the cameras and basically get updates on these cats. So if you go to Twitch right now or after this live stream, and
Not right now, after the live
after
stream.
the live stream.
search
That's fine.
Cute Avalanche, you'll be able to kind of keep up to date with the cats and the foster process. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Talk
and we
to
actually
us
multicast. Go on.
Well, no, that's fine. I was probably going to ask that. Tell us a little bit about this live stream, and
So
then excuse me, sorry.
There's the kitty.
Tell us about this live stream and then the podcast that you have that are around kittens.
yeah, so the way we got here was I had gotten involved in YouTube and live streaming so early that it wasn't monetized. I saw my rise to success was probably 2007 through 2010, where I hit probably 8 million views in that period. And there was very, little adoption of sponsors and brand deals and stuff like that. They were all very skittish about the internet, and they were like, that's a fad, it's going to go away. So,
and like the phone wasn't really prominent.
Yes,
so like people didn't have YouTube on their
the whole mobile
phone,
element didn't exist yet.
Mhm.
So unfortunately I had to go get a real job, which for me was actually working production in Hollywood anyway. So I was still basically doing the same thing, but for people who were willing to pay money.
Nice.
And I ended up getting married and having kids. And my wife was like, I've been thinking about fostering cats. And I was like, hold on. If we do that, we're going to live stream it, because I can't live stream right now as much as I would normally do. So I was like, this will fill that gap, that craving. And begrudgingly, she was like, okay, fine. Because she really wanted to, foster cats. And I was
Totally.
like, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we got started. And which was 7 years ago, 7 years ago. And when I started out, I had an old iPhone and I was just going straight to Facebook from this iPhone, just top down on the cats, until I found other ways of doing it better. And we progressed to a mini PC that was running the stream. And now we have this workhorse, big tower PC that's doing it. And it's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's cool. Do the cats ever mess with the cameras?
Yes.
Of course.
A good amount of the cameras are out of the way, but I don't know if you can see, but in the picture,
wild, the cats are interacting with the camera.
Right above the bed, there's a little black dot. That is a camera that they easily get to. And there's a cable management system so that they don't destroy it, but they move that thing all over the place. And by the way, that is our bedroom. So at night it locks off, because we do have interactive cameras. Everyone can switch the cameras until it's nighttime. Then it locks off on either a night vision camera like this one, or if the cats are in a place where that's not going to happen, we go to a playlist at night.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
But it's still 24/7.
Yep.
So if you're ever needing that, I want to see something cute, head to Cute Avalanche on Twitch. That's killer.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, definitely. And the tell us about the podcast.
Sure.
Before we
the podcast is pretty new. I just started it last year. It's not regular yet, but we started with a real bang. I approached it with we've kind of plateaued in a lot of ways with the Twitch stream, which I might rethink how I phrase that in the future, because we did just start multicasting. So that does open up different avenues. But in a lot of ways, I think the live element has kind of hit a slow peak of we'll get a few new people here and there, but it's pretty regular at this point. So I was like, what else can we do to, A, grow our own reach, but B, maybe shed a light on other people and projects in this animal rescue space. And I was like, I think doing a podcast would be great. So we started to do that.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Trip, do you want to break for some questions from the audience?
Yeah, let's.
Do we have any?
Say bye, Cute Avalanche. Let them go away. We'll see them later. They're live 24/7. Yeah. So Suresh on YouTube asks, how do you automate turning off at night?
Okay. So I have a very complex routine and answer to this, but pretty much everything on that cat cam that isn't run in the chat itself, I have a stream deck like this one inside,
Ah.
and I can program all these buttons to do a lot of things, including communicate with IFT or send webhooks. And
Oh, killer.
so, yeah, I have one button that's called the night button, and I hit that button. It then goes to a chat bot called Mix It Up app, which has a few routines that it's running, including sending information to IFT, which is if we do have lights on in the room, aside from the room light itself, because we have a bunch of color LEDs like these, it'll turn all of those off. It'll do sort of a reporting function. So I have a Google sheet that gives me timestamps of like, you know, when I do the good morning routine, when I do the good night routine, if I do different markers throughout the day, it'll give me those timestamps. So if I want to go back and try and find clips to repurpose later, I have those. So yeah, that's really it. It's Stream Deck to Mix It Up to IFT.
Oh,
And
that's
then
cool.
that turns off whatever I need to turn
So
off.
so you connect with IFT through that webhook. So if you like press a button, you kind of like
Yeah.
call your webhook automatically. Dude, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a really cool use case right there.
Yeah.
Um,
I do a lot that kind of goes from Stream Deck to Mix It Up to IFT, or even directly from Mix It Up to IFT through chat commands as well.
Oh, cool. So like if while you're streaming, you can just run a chat really quick instead of pressing the Stream Deck, and then it like starts an automation.
Yeah, like so I almost more so like use the IFT commands for reporting when it comes to the live stream most of the time. Like there's a lot of things that it's doing, including doing things like turning off lights and whatever. But we have like all these graphics that pop up on screen that people can do on their own. And we have like this big event at which comes up next year called the Super Bowl. Not next year, next month. Same day as the human thing, but earlier in the day. And so one of the things that our viewers can do is like cheer on their favorite team by doing like exclamation mark cheer and stuff like that. And when that happens,
makes it a lot more interactive. Yeah.
Yeah. But also when that happens, it runs a routine that sends information to IFT, which sends information to a Google Sheet. So at the end of the event, I can be like, 500 people triggered this, 700 people triggered that, and I can create a complete report so that I can then be like, okay, I want to do more things like these, less like these, and potentially take it to a brand and go, you could take over this with your own graphic.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. No, because like,
nice.
For example, like right now, to some extent, as we're live streaming, we're not really accepting any data. Like this live stream will live on YouTube forever, and we can go back and watch it, but we're not like tracking anything. That's a really cool idea. I like that. That's sweet.
Yeah, I like for me, live streaming is like how interactive can I make it? Like that is always my goal.
Yeah, you want chat to like basically you want to have a conversation almost with chat.
Definitely.
Live. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, here's another question from Peter Curley. How do you optimize your live streams so they get replays? There it is.
That can be tough. Sometimes it really depends on the subject matter and who your target audience is. So depending on the answer to those two things, I approach live streaming with like, is the live stream going to be the final product? And we're just going to take that and like trim off the edges and put that on YouTube, like let it live the way it is, you know, or do we want to section it? So a lot of the things that I do is I prep segments within the live stream, knowing that I'm going to go in and cut those things out. So, you know, in my heyday, when I was doing like the most things possible, I would be live for like a good 7-8 hour stretch. But within that, I would have like almost mini podcasts where I was doing like, you know, here's a report on things that are happening on Kickstarter. Boom, that becomes its own video. Here's some weird news stuff that becomes its own video. So like, you know, and then in between it, I'm just having conversation like this. But like there'd be almost a definitive break of like, guys, I'm going to have to stop looking at chat for 2 minutes here while I read this thing. Like, don't leave.
Don't leave, but just hang out.
So it it really becomes like you have to know what the end product is. And for a lot of people, especially like Twitch streamers, the end product is the live stream.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, we at IFT, I mean, if you follow us on social media, you're going to see basically this live stream cut up in little sections, and we'll post those to like YouTube Shorts, TikTok, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like
what's the software that we use for that kind of chops them up for us?
Yeah, so it's Opus Clip.
Yeah.
I don't know if you started using it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like everyone now uses Opus. They all kind of have the same vibe and style, but then people can like come back to this live stream later and watch the full thing. You know, like you kind of give them little teasers in those shorts, and then they come back here. Yeah.
It seems like the shorts are almost mini advertisements for the full product, right? The full video, right? So, you know, you'll hear people say like full video and description or whatever, right? So
So, you know, if we're talking like strictly YouTube, when we do something like the Super Bowl, I gotta make sure I don't say it too fast or I could get hit. The Per Bowl is the easy way to say it. But when I do something like that, like knowing that the live stream itself is really the main event, the best way to optimize for something like that is, especially on YouTube, this is so easy, is you first create like a trailer video, like coming February 11th, the Super Bowl, blah, 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 whatever it is, which I haven't done yet. It's going to come up soon.
I can't wait.
Put that on. Yeah. If you have, sorry, but this is going to have so many segues in it. If you have like over 1,000 subscribers, you get access to redirects and trailers. So before your stream starts, instead of just having that countdown that says like 7 days and 22 hours, it'll actually just have that video there as a placeholder.
Oh, cool.
Which is awesome. But then you make a series of shorts that all redirect to that page with the trailer. So the trailer's getting views and the live stream's hopefully getting people that are like, oh yeah, I'm going to come back for this.
Yeah. They like put it in their calendar.
Yeah. Like hit that notification button.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. All right, here's another question, and I'm not sure if you can answer it, but Ben might even be able to jump in here and answer this one. So can you use IF to auto respond to YouTube comments? Like if you say comment the word XYZ and it will reply back.
Not really.
Okay.
Not yet, but I want you guys to make something like that happen.
Yeah, we do. We do have a super chat.
I'll just say,
yeah, you have super chat.
Yeah, so that's like
it doesn't post chat. 2 comments.
Exactly.
It reads the comments, but so what you could do, actually, I don't think you guys can read comment API yet either.
We don't have the functionality available.
Yeah,
I can tell you that it is. Karen, I almost would have bet money that someone would have asked this today. I would love to see this. I can tell you that it's been talked about.
Yeah.
Adding functionality to
this
API
live
is
stream
hard.
to our developers.
Yeah.
I'll
rattle off like 40 things.
I ask about this every day, right? What I would really like to see is, and this is me talking to product as well as it is talking to you guys. What I would really like to see is a trigger that is new comment on a video, right? And then I would like to see an action that is reply to comment. And then you could use like the IFTTT tools to
like
auto respond, right? Yep. Yeah. So we have something very similar. I know with our Google My Business, we have those two, right? You have a review and then reply to review.
Auto respond to reviews.
Yep. It's available in one of our Google services, just not YouTube. But Karen, great question, and I hope it happens as much as everyone else does.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out, raise the flag. We are for this live stream.
I'm gonna beat that drum as much as I can too, Karen.
Yeah, there's so many things on YouTube that IF should be already in, like community tab. Those things.
Sam's going to send us an email after this.
I have a list
already
right
sent me an email. He's already sent me an email. I asked for it. I said, hey, what things would you like to see? And Sam's like, oh, don't threaten me with a good time. So,
I thought of like 40 other things. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
chat, if you have any ideas of what you want to get added to IF, throw them in the chat. We'll forward these to our developers. And then also, if you have any other questions around live streaming, we've got Sam for probably another 30 minutes, and we can get those questions answered. But I have a few questions myself.
Yeah.
So Sam, real question, as a content creator online, how do you make money?
Poorly. No. So the big strategy with making money online is like, don't expect it to be from the platform itself. Like that is the least amount of money you're going to make is from like the Twitch or the YouTube itself from like ad revenue.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, like,
I feel like I do a lot of SEO writing, and like I'm searching all these keywords, and everyone Googles how much does YouTube pay per view, or it's like, and then also there's a lot of YouTube channels saying, once I get monetized, how much they're going to pay me. But yeah,
they're looking at the wrong thing. So literally ad revenue is the smallest amount you're going to make. The next thing is going to be fan funding. So like, paid subscriptions or memberships, Patreon and, Fansly, all those kind of coffee. And then like super chats, super thanks, super stickers in YouTube. And then after that, the next biggest thing is going to be like merch, and, then brand deals and other things of that nature. And any other kind of like, I say merch, and it's really anything that you can sell. If you have services, if you have digital downloads, physical goods, whatever it is.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
yeah, you're right. You see a lot of content creators come out with like their own coffee subscription or t-shirts that like have some inside joke in them from the channel,
Exactly. And I mean, it's easy to make a lot of that stuff, right? Like there's all these print on demand sites, so you don't have to like go crazy and drop $10,000 just to get like a bunch of shirts so that you're doing fulfillment and sending them out. Like you can get started doing merch, on the cheap with, like you can go to like Redbubble or so most of the merch sites work with like, they give you a base value of like, it's going to cost us $12.50 to make this shirt. You tack on what you want to make on that price. Right. And then you're like, okay, $14. I get two. Cool. And then they charge $7 shipping and people would never buy it. But that's a whole different issue. But it at least gets you started and gets you designing and stuff like that.
That's so wild. So like you're definitely creating content. You're building a community. You're building an audience. Yeah. And the platforms you're publishing it on, don't expect any money from that. If you make money, that's great, but try and like think of alternative, like either brand deals, sponsorships, or selling your own products.
I mean, full disclosure, like I've made, within the same 6-month period, $50 from a platform or $3,000 from a platform. So like, and I'm pretty small really when it comes to the end of the day. When we talk about how I make money specifically, I also do UGC videos and live streams. So it's user created content. So brands will come to me and I will make like a small, like minute or less video ad for them, usually vertical video for like TikTok or shorts. I also, this past year did an NFT game show. So I was their technical director. I basically was pushing all the buttons on the live stream. It was super fun project, and hopefully NFTs get rid of that bad rap and they come back with a bigger show next year, but we'll see.
Yeah, totally.
Seem like they were one of the good ones, but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, I feel like now that you've mentioned all that, I do see it kind of all in the wild, like if you are running like an entertainment YouTube channel, you're mostly going to sell like sponsored ads in between your, or affiliate revenue from like people clicking through.
Yeah. Oh, good. I forgot to mention affiliate. Thank you. Yeah.
Like everyone, like if you do anything on Amazon links, you can track all of that. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. For anyone who's looking to start a YouTube channel, if you don't have an obvious, I am selling this thing, figure that out before you start. like I know maybe you're not a small business trying to make a YouTube channel, but you should find something that you are selling. Like if you have knowledge, create an ebook or a digital download, and that is your prime thing because it's going to pay out.
You're pointing towards people.
Yeah. And for, for people just starting, you're not going to get monetized for a while. So to have that available also is, a source of revenue.
Cool.
YouTube's almost like your commercial, your own commercial for what you're selling.
Yeah.
In a sense. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's it's just a platform that people can interact and absorb your content, and then you just hand them stuff on the side. Yeah, that's cool.
It's also a good place to kind of have your, they have sort of a built-in link in bio or link tree on YouTube as well, where you can, hey, check out, here's my other links on my page. And
follow me
I
on
know
Twitter.
Sam's got one where it's if you want to enter in a business agreement with me, send me an email here or something like that.
Yep.
So
totally.
Yeah, if you go to my website, samproof.tv, you can find out about all my services, and we can chat.
Nice. Cool.
Awesome.
So as a content creator, why is community building so important?
I mean, the thing with, creating content is you're going to attract a lot of people, but if they see you once, they're just going to kind of scroll away. If you build that community and they're coming back, they become loyal fans, then they're actually going to be the ones who probably are dropping the money to buy that merch or that ebook. So, not that we should view all of our community members as
Customers.
cash cow, right? I always view people as friends first. Anything I do online, I'm especially with live streaming, I'm this is my house party. I'm inviting you in. Let's hang out. And by the way, while you're here, I couldn't afford my own beer. So if you drop $5 in here, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
Nice. BYOB. Yeah.
Well, and it's as a content creator, it almost feels like you're just giving away free content all the time. You know what I mean? And it's I don't want to say that's draining. I mean, you do kind of want to monetize at some point, but where else do you do that? But friends, you just help friends out all the time, and then randomly they'll return the favor, Yeah,
it's,
for sure.
Cool. It's probably like anything it's probably like anything that's really hard to do, right? Like starting a business or starting a channel, you kind of have to have a passion for what you're doing. Because if you're just I'm not making money, then screw this, I'm not making money, then you're going to quit really quickly. But if you're I go 1 year with the most views I have is 10, and I don't care, I'm loving doing this, right? And that's kind of you have to stick around, right? It's that old, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up again. Kind of,
that's exactly it. Yeah,
you gotta try hard, right? Yeah.
Ben had a rough father.
Yeah. No, but that's really it. The whole thing with content creation is it's the waiting game, and it's a staying through it kind of thing. If you're doing something just for the money, you are going to get bored of it. You are going to burn out, and then it's just all for nothing. Because if you haven't come at this with a passion, and people can tell, they know, totally. When they're watching someone, if they're really interested in the thing they're talking about, and if that doesn't shine through, then they don't care, and they're not going to give you money, and they're not going to stick around. So you're not even going to get the ad revenue.
So it's smart to kind of go into it wanting to build relationships, and wanting friends and be more authentic in that way. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I think when I got started with the whole thing, it wasn't because I was looking to make money, because that wasn't even a thing. That didn't exist. I was replacing me being a neurotic insomniac with I have a social outlet now, because people are actually online at 2 a.m. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's cool. Well, do you have any advice for someone with 0 followers, or just getting out to just getting started in content creation? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, depending on if it's video or live streaming, just get started, really. Kind of jump into it and expect that it's going to take you a year to figure out what you're doing. If you don't have any previous knowledge, how to
make even good videos. Yeah,
exactly. It's really just a rediscovery game. It's like when you write, you're not done the first time you write. You got to go back, you got to edit. And it's the same thing for making videos and live streams. You got to go back and review what you've done, see what the analytics tell you, and like readjust your strategy. So like there's so many moving parts. You know, you have the topic, you have, you know, the script that you have the hook that opens that script, you have thumbnails and keywords and all the SEO stuff and how you promote and how you use other social media. So there's just a million things to pay attention to. So try and narrow your focus as much as possible, including on what you're talking about. Like the big thing everyone says now is niche down, which I hate, but it's true. Like I hate it because I want to do the 50 things. And if you look at my channel, you'll be like, he did the 50 things and this is as good as it gets, you know, like, whereas the cat channel does a lot better because people go there, they see cats. That is what they expect.
Yeah.
You go to the
that's like
Sam-proof
what
channel,
you're promoting.
Yeah. You go to the Sam-proof channel. It's just a mess of like, you know, 15 years of
all
like,
of
well,
your
this week I'm doing weird news.
interests.
This week I'm doing sketch comedy. Now I'm doing technical stuff. It's pretty much found a focus now, but I have to rebuild that audience. So yeah, it's a persistence game. Like put things out there. You know, don't wait too long. Like a lot of people are just perfectionists and they're like, well, I want to make sure I got the sound right and the color right. And I want to have perfect editing. Don't compare yourself to Mr. Beast. Like everyone's out there being like, this is how you can be Mr. Beast.
Well, check Mr. Beast's like very early videos. Like they were done off of a phone, I think. You know, like sound was bad. Yeah,
they're really bad. They're like kinda,
he was just like watching paint
dark and like they're not
hours.
great. Yeah, you can be 2010 Mr. Beast for sure.
Yeah,
like that's fine. Go for that. But yeah, you don't have $1 million budget to like pay a 10-person production team to help you make that video. You're never going to do it, and you're just going to burn out trying. So, you know, do the thing you can do with what you have available to you, and also make sure to save times for yourself to relax. Because I think that's another thing early creators do is like, they're like, I work a full-time job, that's 40 hours. And then I have about, you know, I sleep, 8 hours a night, but the rest of that time I'm making YouTube videos. And they'll do that for 2 years straight. And then like they go away forever. Like I didn't make $1 million and I'm done.
Yep.
Right.
You know, and I think the final thing I kind of say about that is like, don't go into content creation thinking you're going to make that one video that goes viral and that's it. Because you're not. First, you're not. And second, if you actually accidentally do make that one video, and that's it, you made the one video, it went viral, what happens now? Like nothing. You have nothing else going on.
Yeah.
So like you make content to make the content that answers the value that you want to give to your audience, right? Like how to use IFT, and that's it. Like, so now you have a catalog of 50 videos that people can come and see and be like, oh, I want it. This works with WordPress or this works with Google or whatever. Great. I have the answer to that question. And then that one video hits and they're like, well, what else can I do with this thing? Oh crap, a lot. Right.
Yeah.
So you have to have that back catalog to like validate the viral thing that happened.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Hashtag building with Ben. Go check out all of Ben's videos on our channel. He's probably got 50
Those
videos.
were bad. Those were really bad.
But it helps our audience know different ways they can use it. You know, I still love them.
That's true. You know, it's there's kind of two iterations. There's the building with Ben, and then there's the business automations with Ben. And the building with Ben was like, I'm going to show people how to connect their lights in their house to IFT during the pandemic. And it was really like one of these things where like the pandemic was like, you know, we were fresh in the pandemic. It was late 2020. And I was like, I got to keep my job. So I was like, maybe marketing will I'll be in marketing's favor if I make videos on YouTube. And that's kind of how I sort of got
Ben's
started.
Still here. So
I'm still here. Yeah. So it was survival for me. I was like, I don't want to get fired. I like this company. Yeah.
I've been there. Awesome. I did production for Mob Crush, and every time I came back with like a stream that only had like a couple thousand views, I was like, it's gonna be okay.
Right? Yeah.
All right. Well, so are we ready for more audience questions?
Sure.
Yes. So we've got John Summers out of DC. or maybe he likes DC Comics. I'm not sure. But what service or platform do you use to get metrics and listener data for your podcast, and that you can let me just move this. Attract
Used
sponsors.
to attract sponsors. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll say that I am probably not the definitive source on podcast stuff. Right now we're using Spotify. And back in the day I used FeedBurner, and I feel like I should route my Spotify through FeedBurner because I think FeedBurner had some better information, because Spotify does syndicate to all of the other podcast platforms, which is great, but it's a limited amount of data, metrics and stuff like that. But yeah, they have them. It's pretty good for what I want, at least.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And then CJ, I know we're chatting in the chat. I just want to let you know that we heard your question and we're sending it to our developers. And so could you send us a note on Twitter? I think we just posted it. So just send us a note on Twitter. It's at IFT. Connect with us and we'll answer your support question. But cool. And yeah, so if anyone else in the chat has any questions around live streaming or content creation, just post them there. We'll pull this up. But I think we're going to move on to all of your applets because you've got a ton.
I do.
Yeah. So, Trip, can you go back to my screen?
Yep.
Awesome. So, yeah, I think Trip and I took a bet on whether you had more cats or more applets in your lifetime. And you've got a lot. So this is actually the best way I could make a visual representation of your applets. And this isn't all your applets. This is just what would fit on the page.
Sure.
Yeah.
Plus I have two accounts.
Yeah. So I'll just ask, first question, what's your favorite applet? What's your favorite automation? I know that might be a tough question to answer, but what's your favorite thing to do on IFT?
God, I honestly, it's like probably super like nerdy and just like simple functionality that I like, but we have this thing. So we have a 24/7 cat cam. I obviously can't be watching that all the time for the awesome moments. But our users can. And I created this function in the chatbot Mixin' Up app called Clip It. So they do ! Clip It, which takes from OBS a 30-second replay buffer, but it also does it on Twitch. So it creates a clip in the cloud and locally on my machine. And when it does that, when they do that, it does a variety of things. It sends it off to IFT, which then creates me a Trello card that links back to the URL for Twitch, and tells me who clipped it, when it was clipped, all of those kind of things, and puts it in a column of like review these so that I can see if it's any good later. And then also puts it on a Google Sheet, drops it into my Slack, it drops it into a Discord channel. So it pretty much promotes it. I can't remember if I actually have it go out to Twitter as well. I may have done that and been like, nah, I want to buffer that and make sure there's just nothing like a cat in distress. And that's why they clipped it, But yeah, it does a bunch of those things, which I like. Along those lines, for my own personal stream, I created this like in-chat King of the Hill game. And it's an open source game, essentially. So my viewers can actually create a rule. So again, they go through a chat command in the Sam Proof Twitch, and they do it's done through a channel point redemption, which on Twitch, it's a little button. So it's similar to typing something, but it's a little button. You type in what you want at that point and then hit submit. And it then sends that to IFT, which again creates both a Trello card for is this a good rule? Do we want to make this, ship this or not? And if I advance it to the next Trello, it posts all of those into a specific Discord channel, so you can follow the progress of that rule for the game. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So yeah, you've basically used it just to kind of connect and allow the people in the chat to interact with you more, and just keep tabs on them a little bit more.
Yeah, a lot of what I do is reporting. So any user function, I'm creating some kind of chart to like see how often those things are going off, and just so I can get a sense of those kind of things. Anytime there's new videos, it goes somewhere so I can check it out. And I for a while was doing like a top 10 list of Kickstarters for board games, and that was pulling all of that through IFT would give me like the most earning board game Kickstarters in like a spreadsheet, and I could just look and see what was launching that day and turn that into a podcast.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's so cool. Yeah. So I see you kind of like highlighted your webhook automations that you were doing off of Stream Deck earlier.
Yeah.
But if we go down just a little bit lower, I see that AI social creator.
Sure.
How are you using AI on from your like Twitch streams and stuff?
God, I don't even know if I remember all of the things. Like I set a lot of these up when you guys first launched them, just so I could get a sense of what they were doing. And some of them were okay, and some of them I was like, man, I'm gonna have to rethink how I use it. But I do have a few that go off daily that just go to Twitter and promote like the Patreon account for the Cute Avalanche. So it just straight out writes like a sentence and throws it onto Twitch with the URL to the Patreon. And I'm trying to remember what else I have. I have some buttons on my phone that trigger that if my phone wants to show those up.
And this is the IFT button widget?
Yeah, it's the
you're
IFT button.
Okay.
Which after talking to you, I was like, I don't think I even knew there was an IFT notes. And I'm like, well, I'm going to make some of those pretty soon, probably.
Yeah.
I can't find them, so I don't know what.
So
what they are.
while you're looking that up, I'll just say that Trip and I are going to be doing a kind of a YouTube, an all YouTube automation live stream coming up in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, hit the notification
include the
bell,
note widget.
subscribe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know one of those. I can't. It's not loading for whatever reason, probably because I'm in the garage. But one of those is I every April do NaPoWriMo, which is National Poetry Month. So every day you're supposed to write a poem. So I literally have a button on my IFT that auto generates a writing prompt for a poem.
Oh, cool.
So it's not writing the poem, but it is giving you like
an idea to write about.
Color purple, and its season is spring, and in the vein of Ernest Hemingway,
yeah,
something
totally.
like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
killer.
So I see on here that you mentioned it in one of your previous answers that you use Trello. I see you got 14 Trello applets. Is it a project manager for you? Is it a task manager for you? Like, how is it managing everything in your life or just your business? How do you use your task management platform, Trello?
I have almost as many Trellos as I have applets. No, I do have about 7 Trellos, and some are task management and some are project management. So like I was talking about the King of the Hill game, that is a very project management based Trello where it is one specific thing and it has all of the cards for that game. And as those go along, they go through different columns to show where they are in the process, like if they're being considered, if they're being worked on, if they've shipped, if they're denied and archived and stuff like that. I have about 3, I think, for Cute Avalanche, which one is for watching the clips feed, and again kind of follows that same sort of scenario of like, I review it, I either think it's good or bad, and then I've clipped it and I put it onto YouTube. And then I have entire Trellos based on things like sales and like reaching out to different, like cold calls to companies, and if they've followed up, and where we if I've sent them a pitch and things like that. So yeah, I kind of hit all the bases with it.
Nice. Yeah. What are you doing Facebook pages? Or do you have like a community built on Facebook?
Yeah. Cute Avalanche has its own community, and Sam Proof has his own community, and I probably have 10 different like random things I've started at one time. Like I was on a show called Tim and Eric, and so I made a fan page for the character I was, which has a small following, but yeah.
Wait, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love to be back. That's cool.
Oh yeah, season 2, episode 1.
Let's go. I'm gonna
But
check it
yeah,
out.
all of those Facebook pages ones are just social sharing from other things. So like when a Twitch clip gets created, it'll post there and things like that.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so that's just one way you're kind of interacting with your community.
Yeah,
like you're producing content on these platforms and you're interacting with them on a third-party community-based platform like Facebook pages. That's cool, and you're kind of sharing all your content there.
Yeah,
cool.
Awesome. Trip, I think we're getting close to time. Do we want to see if we got any more questions from our audience for Sam?
Yeah, I haven't seen any other questions pop up. So if anyone has one last minute question, feel free to throw it on here. But we can kind of roll into the final slides. Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. So let me get over here. All right. So every live stream we give away one free year of IFTTT Plus. Trip, can you find someone in the chat that maybe asked us a really great question and that would like a free year?
Yeah, Karen, you threw that question out around comment for the word XYZ, and it doesn't have it right now, and we're all angry with you. So we thought it was a great question. So please take this free year of IFTTT Plus as condolences. All you have to do is email us at marketing@ift.com and we'll get it, and we can go just upgrade your IFT account and give you that Pro Plus. So yeah,
awesome.
Congrats.
Yeah. And also email us. If there's anyone out there watching, if you know someone or if you are someone that, say you're a content creator, you're on YouTube, you're on Twitch, you're building a following. If you are a Power IFT user, you got a lot of applets, maybe not as many applets as Sam has, but if you'd like to join us for a live stream, Trip and I are always looking to meet new people, meet new Power IFT users and content creators. So email us as well at marketing@ift.com. Maybe put attention Ben and Trip on the email so we can make sure we get it.
You can email us at marketing@ift too. We'll help you out right there too. So if you're not using Twitter, just send us an email at marketing@ift and we'll help you.
Yeah, definitely. And send us an email. I can't promise that we'll get back to everybody, but that would be a good problem if we had too many emails of people wanting to come on the live stream. So and let's see. samproof@gmail.com. So if you have a business inquiry for Sam, we didn't really go into it too much, but Sam, you help people with creating content for their business. You help people who have a business and they're wanting to start doing live streaming. In fact, one of your podcasts, not the Kitten podcast, is actually about helping people get started live streaming. So if you have a business inquiry for Sam, you can reach him at samproof@gmail.com. And anything else to add on that, Sam?
That podcast actually happens later today at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can find that on twitch.tv/samproof or youtube.com/samproof. And my co-host John Lacey and I will be talking about OBS today and how to get started with it.
What's OBS for people that don't know?
Oh, yeah. OBS is Open Broadcast Software, which is a free software that will do some very complex live stream broadcasting things. But you can also use it just to record video or even just record audio. And now they have a vertical plugin, so you can record all your vertical stuff there too. So
awesome.
It's cool. my go-to streaming software.
Awesome.
Great.
Well, thanks everybody. This was awesome. Thanks, Sam, for joining us. I learned a ton today. So yeah, really appreciate it. Yeah.
This was great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
ring the notification bell. Ben and I are going to dive into some YouTube automations in the next couple of weeks. So you'll get an email from us as well. So just subscribe and ring the notification bell. Yep.
Like, subscribe, and comment, I think, are the three. Yeah. Yep. Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Thanks again.